This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 765, Magic Beans by J.L. Collins of jlcollinsnh.com. And I am Dan, I'm your host here on Optimal Finance Daily, where I read to you from some of the best personal finance blogs on the planet. And today's episode is brought to you by SendPro Online from Pitney Bowes. SendPro Online software makes it easy to save time and money no matter what you ship or mail. Print shipping labels and stamps right from your desk and access discounted rates. Try it free for 30 days and get a free 10-pound scale when you visit pb.com/finance. That's pb.com/finance. And now let's get right to today's post as we optimize your life. Magic Beans by J.L. Collins of jlcollinsnh.com. For supposedly rational creatures, we humans seem irrationally drawn to magic beans. Being a geezer, I've been around long enough to see quite a few flavors come and go. What they all have in common is that by the time you start reading about them everywhere, the end is near. Let's see, I remember growth stocks were all the rage a while back. Why, any management worth its salt should be able to plow profits back into the business and reach even greater heights. Value stocks that paid dividends? Clearly run by managements with no vision, so lacking in ability that they could think of nothing better to do with their profits than to pay them out. You want growth? Find companies with forward-thinking, what a wonderful phrase, leaders skilled in deploying capital. Growth stocks. You couldn't go to a party without some guy telling you about his latest killing. Left everything in the dust. Until they didn't. I remember actively managed funds. The investment world is littered with the remains of once superstar fund managers. I remember houses. Oops, did I strike a nerve? Yep, stocks and bonds went up and down, but houses? Houses could only go up. See, people will always need a place to live, right? Seemed to make sense at the time. Why banks, and how could they ever be wrong, would even loan you money on all your equity. You could cash out profits and still live in the place. What could possibly go awry? I'm sure glad I learned how to lose money in real estate back in the 80s and before it was fashionable. Saved me a bundle in avoiding this latest debacle. I remember gold. How could I not? Every time I turned on the TV, opened the paper, or listened to the radio, people were spending huge sums of advertising money to tell me I too could get rich buying, preferably from them, gold. It is, after all, the one true store of value through human history. There was even one place that offered to sell it to you and then, for a fee, store it for you as well. You never even had to see the stuff. Think about that for a moment. Yikes. A few weeks back, it was pushing $2,000 an ounce on its way to $5,000, or $10,000, or, well, $1,566 as of year-end, and falling. I remember reading about tulip bulbs. And now? Well, now it seems everywhere I turn, the new flavor of bean is dividend investing. Or, even more impressively, the dividend aristocrats. You can read about that on Mr. Money Mustache's blog. I actually made some money last year riding the div stock wave. With all this new popularity, I should be taking my chips off the table soon. No better sign that the end is near for them. So, no magic beans in the dividend aristocrats, but they likely won't be as poisonous as some of the other beans. You'll just lag behind the market over the next decade. In fact, here's a bet that will likely make you more money. Within 5 years, you'll be reading about how growth stocks are the sure path to prosperity, and value, dividend stocks are for losers who can't do the simple homework of analyzing the good stocks. This will be wrong too. What is poisonous in the Dividend Aristocrats post is this. Quote, "For a great primer on valuing stocks, check out The Intelligent Investor by Warren Buffett's mentor, Benjamin Graham. Read it and then get to work combing the aristocrats for bargains." End quote. It is a great book, and by all means take the time to read it. But remember, when Graham wrote it, index funds would not be invented for several more decades, and mutual funds were few and far between. Analyzing and choosing individual stocks was the only option. But now, thank you Jack Bogle, we have index funds. With these, we can own the entire market and outperform over time all but the rarest of professional money managers. The idea that if you read a few books and study what Warren Buffett has done, you too will outperform the market is, to steal a phrase from Sean's dad, horse hockey. Dangerous horse hockey at that. People have been trying for decades, and yet there is still only one Warren. Think about it this way. Remember Muhammad Ali? The Warren Buffett of boxing in his day. You and I could have followed his training regimen, maybe even engaged Angelo Dundee to show us the ropes. We could have gotten into top shape, done all of our homework, learned the sweet science. And after all that effort, would you climb in the ring with Joe Frazier or George Foreman or Sonny Liston? Not me. I'm no Ali or Warren. And neither are you. Unless, of course, you are, in which case, welcome back. You know what Warren Buffett recommends for individual investors? Broad-based index funds. Graham, were he still alive, would too. A little humility goes a long way in saving your and your stash. Addendum. At various points in this blog, I suggest only about 20% of active money managers outperform the index, and that's being a bit generous. This is a ballpark figure based on the many articles on this I've come across over the years. In fact, you can Google this question and find several falling around this percentage. I'm not sure why they vary. Some look at different time frames, some at different metrics, some factor in costs, and some don't. Clearly, it is easier to get lucky and outperform the shorter the time you need to do it. Even I called the market almost exactly last year, and I can assure you it was no more than luck. Vanguard has done research on this, looking at a 15-year time frame. In it, they point out that 45% of actively managed funds failed to even survive over that time, let alone outperform. Only 18% both survived and outperformed, and even those frequently had long periods of underperformance. So even if you are lucky enough to pick one of the outperformers, it'll be tough to live with. There are studies done for an even longer period, 1976 to 2006, 30 years. The results are even more shocking. As the article says, quote, Barris, Scalat, and Wermers tracked 2,076 actively managed U.S. domestic equity mutual funds between 1976 and 2006. And are you sitting down? Only 0.6%. You read that right. 0.6% showed any true skill at beating the market consistently, statistically indistinguishable from zero, the three researchers concluded. End quote. On reflection, calling the outperformers at 20%, I'm too generously off the mark. You just listened to the post titled Magic Beans by J.L. Collins of jlcollinsnh.com. And Jack Bogle was mentioned in this post. You might have heard that he passed away recently. He was 89 years old and he will be missed. He was the founder and chief executive of the Vanguard Group, responsible for the very first index fund. And once again, SendPro Online is an amazing online software that helps you save time and money no matter what you send, letters, packages, overnights, or flats, and you'll always pay the right amount. It comes with a free 10-pound scale that weighs and calculates rates for you. Plus, you can compare options between USPS, UPS, and FedEx right at your fingertips. USPS postal rates just went up again recently, so now is the best time to save more. Just by using SendPro Online, you get discounts of up to 40% off USPS priority mail shipping, and you get 5 cents off every letter you send. No additional equipment is needed. Just log on to your computer and use your own printer to print shipping labels and stamps. SendPro Online is only $14.99 a month, and our listeners can get a free 30-day trial by visiting pb.com/finance. Experience the convenience of SendPro Online and try it out for free at pb.com/finance. And that'll do it for this week here at Optimal Finance Daily. Thank you so much for listening and for being a subscriber, and have yourself a terrific weekend. I will see you back here Monday, where your optimal life awaits.